Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for, this is your August bonus reading, and we're just going to look at the main events in August and how they'll be affecting you. We're basically looking at the astrology. So in the first row, we're going to be looking at the triple conjunction, which is not really a conjunction. All three planets on the first, or the two planets in the north node, so Uranus, Mars, and the north node, are going to be at 18 degrees, and that's going to be in Taurus. So that's what we're going to look at in this first row here. In your next row, column, whatever you want to call it, we're going to look at the full moon in Aquarius on August 11th. So I definitely like what I see so far here, Leo. Definitely a lot of luck. It's interesting. I thought these were going to be like a lot more challenging than they actually have been, which is nice. In the area, or I should say in this row here, we're going to look at the Uranus retrograde on the 24th of the month. And that will be here. And then in your last column, we're going to look at the new moon in Virgo, and that will be on the 27th. Like I said, this isn't exactly everything that's going on. These are just the kind of like important things that are going on at this time. So let's dig in here and see. And I forgot to pull two of these for these other cards. But in your first row here for the triple conjunction, basically energy, we'll still be dealing with this energy most of the month. You have this activation card. You also have this bag card. It says something important such as a new job or a raise. I like that. Definitely could be increasing your finances, and that could be being activated during this time. I feel like you're being rewarded for the quality of the work that you put out. You have the Three of Pentacles. Again, this makes sense to me. I mean, to me, this triple conjunction is happening in Taurus. To me, Taurus loves, value, basically. So if you are providing something of value, if you offer a service, if you have a business in your career or your job, we can also do all these things. We can provide value, offer a service, and all that other stuff. And if you do that, I feel like you raise promotion, more money, more clients, more whatever it is that you're looking for. I feel the same thing in relationships as well, because I feel like you're providing, if you are coming in the kind of quality mindset, I feel like not only you're going to attract a person of quality and abundance, but I also feel like you're going to be receiving, quality and abundance from the situation. So that's like what my mindset would be here for you, Leo, especially in this first row, is kind of focusing on quality experiences, quality, offering quality, receiving quality as well, and all this other stuff. And I would let go of the fears. You have the Seven of Swords here. Every once in a while, I feel like the Seven of Swords can be internal fears that don't exist. I don't want to go off on a rant here, but it's like every once in a while, I tell people it's like you have to offer quality in a relationship to receive a quality relationship. And people always come at me and they always say like, oh, what if you do that and they don't reciprocate and all this other stuff? I'm like, well, number one, leave. It's not that difficult. Number two, as I've said a million, billion, trillion, quadrillion, quintillion times, a lot, right, on this channel, it's like the answer to 2022 is the Justice card. You don't have the Justice card here because I'm trying to make a point. But the point is, it's like if you enter into a relationship, you're offering quality. It's like you should know right away. It's like not only that, Justice. Put a little quality in. Put a little energy in. Let them return the energy, right? They return the energy, put a little bit more in. It's like as long as you're kind of doing that equal give and take game, then you'll be fine. The problem with us spiritual people, and I'm calling us all out, is we all just kind of dive in head first, put everything in, lay our heart on the table, and it gets hit with a sledgehammer, basically. So what I would say here, as long as you're putting a little in, they put a little in, you put a little in, then there's not going to be like this issue, right? And you're going to find a quality person, plain and simple. So that's for love. Moving on. In this first row, you have the Three of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, and the Three of Wands. Both of these cards here, the Three of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords, they both have polka dots on their cloaks here. So, the polka dots in the tarot represent needing to not take things too seriously, needing to have more fun in your life, needing to, have more fun experiences as well. And only two signs, you and someone else, I don't remember who, have definitely had a focus on needing to have fun. Actually, I think it was Aquarius, because I said something to Aquarius about how I always say this to you. So I'm pretty sure it was. If you have Aquarius in your chart, I would definitely go watch that reading. But, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, you have this card here. You have the Seven of Swords, again, polka dots. You also have the Sun as well. And you have the Star. Amazing, by the way. Fame and Fortune. Love that. But both of these cards, or I should say all three of those cards, this card, the Seven of Swords and the Sun, all about like fun, enjoyment, doing things that are fun. I find that these cards come up sometimes when we are taking things too seriously in life, especially when it comes up like this, when you have like all three. So, but mostly these first two cards, the Three of Pentacles and then the Seven of Swords. Again, he has the polka dots on his cloak there. So if you find yourself worrying, or if you're finding yourself like, being too serious or things like that, I would just be kind of like trying to lighten up the energy. Again, I don't think it's that big of a deal. This is a really good reading, in general, very positive. But, again, I would be careful of kind of entering into that, that energy of being too serious, being stuck in the serious mode. Finally, here in this first row, you have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is a card of expansion, and, it's kind of like a card of growth as well. It's kind of a card of like, what are you waiting for as well? I feel that for a lot of you, just looking at this, you have the Three of Wands to the Wheel of Fortune to the Temperance card. This, to me, is like trying to create a turnaround, trying to create improvements in your life, and I'm a big fan of doing that right now. So if you're trying to create like some improvements, if you're trying to create some like a turnaround in your business or in your life in general, I feel like that's what you're kind of working on. But I feel like you have a lot of ideas with that Three of Wands. And it's like maybe you're waiting for certain things to change that are probably never going to change. So, again, Three of Wands is my card of like waiting for the perfect moment when there never will be a perfect moment. The time is now, right? People always ask me, it's like, it's Mercury retrograde. Should I move? I'm like, well, number one, astrology should not control your life. Neither should tarot. Plain and simple. Should be like the cherry on top of your life, basically, just loose guidance, right? But as long as you follow the rules, you'll be perfectly fine, right? During a Mercury retrograde, if you're moving and signing something, quintuple check it multiple times, and you'll be fine. Have a lawyer check it. You'll be fine. Again, we don't have a Mercury retrograde this month, although technically I think we entered into the shadow this month, but still, what I would say is that, I feel like there are a lot of things that we can wait for, or could wait for, that number one, might never happen, and number two, you could be waiting until the cows come home. So I'd be getting moving. I wouldn't be waiting so much here. Next, in the area of the full moon in Aquarius on August 11th, you have this Phoenix card. You also have this Wishbone card. It says, a wish being granted. Love it. So if you've been waiting for like a rebirth or kind of like a second chance in your life, then I do feel this could be a second chance. You have the Wheel of Fortune and the Judgment card in this reading. So that plus this Phoenix card, kind of like a phoenix rising from the ashes, I do feel there's definitely some second chance energy, but it's more like you're breathing new life into something. All three fire signs have been getting kind of that message for the past few weeks. So it seems to me like if you have something that you want to kind of like revitalize or, kind of bring back to life, it seems to me like you're bringing something back to life here. It's not something that you've completely lost, is what I would say. But, if it is a relationship, it's like maybe you're in a relationship where it just doesn't feel the same. I feel like this is saying around the time of the full moon, you're going to have some opportunity to bring it back to life, to kind of revitalize it. If this is business, same thing. I feel like there are a lot of ideas that you're having. For some reason, I keep getting ideas on that Three of Wands. Three of Wands isn't really an idea card, although I will say that it's like Three of Wands is putting something out and getting it back. He's waiting for his ships to come home. He's waiting for the return of those ships that are out in the ocean. And so for a lot of you, maybe you've put like words or you've put thoughts out into the universe, and now you're getting the return here with this energy. And I feel like it's a very lucky time, like some sort of wish is coming in for you here, Leo. So definitely like that. Excuse me. You have the Knight of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Star in this row. Amazing. The Star is like seeing something as possible. You can see here that she's pouring water onto the land right here. And the water on the land kind of represents what's possible for one person is possible for everyone. And I kind of just look at it more as inspiration sometimes, and that's how I feel for you. I feel you could be seeing something where you're like, oh, this is finally possible for me. It's like, and it could be anything. I feel that maybe you want to move, or you're trying to upgrade your business or your love life. I feel whatever it is, it's like you're finally seeing it as possible. So I would almost call this like a breakthrough type of energy that I'm getting here, even though the star doesn't really represent a breakthrough. That's what I'm getting intuitively. You also have the Wheel of Fortune, so I feel like this changes everything, whatever it is. there's definitely a change coming in for you with the Wheel of Fortune. I feel there's some like major improvements coming in for you with the Wheel of Fortune as well. I just kind of see this as more breakthrough energy. When you think about it, the Wheel of Fortune is a turnaround. You also have the Judgment card, also a breakthrough as well. So there's clearly some sort of breakthrough or turnaround coming in for you. You also have the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups could be like a knight in shining armor. So if you're looking for love, this could definitely be love entering into your life. I actually do feel love is available to you this month if you want it. As I always say, you have to go out and get it. I don't know why, but like all of a sudden I keep getting these comments from people that are like, you said love was coming in. I'm like, I never say love is coming in. I always say love is available to you. You have to go and get it. Love isn't just magically fall into your lap, right? Brad Pitt isn't going to magically appear on your couch next to you. You have to go out and get Brad. You have to go out and seduce Brad, right? So that's what I would say here is get out there, do something, and, find a way to find love, right? You have to date. And trust me, I get it. Tinder is a hot mess. I'm not suggesting using Tinder, although what I do say is, to me, if you truly want love, then you do everything you possibly can. If you truly, truly want it. I find that a lot of people who have a hard time finding love, it's like they don't put themselves on dating sites. And people always say, I don't want to be on a dating site. I'm always like, well, you're basically telling the universe that you don't want love because there's something that's available to you that you could use to find love, but you're saying no, right? So I always tell people, be careful with your words, number one. But number two, it's like use everything at your disposal. It doesn't mean you have to marry these people, right? But you never know where it could happen. So as long as you're being open to it, and I would say to help tell people, set up the Tinder, set up the Bumble, set up the whatever you kids use nowadays, adult friend finder, I don't know, whatever it is. Set it up, put it out there, get the information out there, right? Then you'll probably meet the person in public, but you open up the energy by doing that. And for whatever reason, it's popping in my head that's super important, that you open up the energy with the Knight of Cups here and all that other stuff. Next, in the area of Uranus retrograde on the 24th, you have the full moon in Sagittarius. It says, look at the big picture. All these readings have been kind of like big picture readings in general. You have this fly card. It says a period of ill health and depression. Again, I'm not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice, but I would watch your health just in general. You do have the Temperance card here. Great card for health, so wouldn't really worry about it. But again, I'm not a doctor, so I would just be careful of that. Also what I would say is that it says be careful of depression on this fly card, and you have this card here which says look at the big picture. So it's like if you're like worried or depressed about something, there might be kind of like a big picture thing going on in life, or there might be a zooming out type of opportunity for you where you could put things into perspective and realize that things aren't really as bad as you think. For whatever reason, like I've been very careful lately of like the stuff that I'm watching, just in general, like on YouTube, on TV. I don't really watch TV, but I've been very, very careful about like the media and stuff that I've been consuming in general, because it's just like things that normally wouldn't bother me have been bothering me. So I don't know if like that's an energetic change. That's where it's kind of like things are kind of bothering me more. And the other interesting thing is, it's funny. I'm not going to get into the details, but I was watching another astrologer who's great, but I was watching an astrologer and they said something that I like completely disagreed with, and it kind of like made it got my hackles up, right? And but then I was just like, I was kind of like looking at what he said, and I was like, wait a minute. It's like the way that he's looking at this is just like is his version of reality, and there's really no reason to get all upset about it, right? So I think like backing up, kind of looking at things and saying this is just this person's version of reality, and it's perfectly fine, doesn't affect me, right? I feel like doing that could be very beneficial for you here in this row, and kind of like zooming out and looking at the big picture, right? It could be very important. You have the Temperance card, the Hierophant, and the Five of Pentacles here. So I do feel you have the power to turn pretty much anything around. The Temperance is like turning a negative into a positive. You could turn a positive into a negative as well with the Temperance card. So again, I'd be like super careful of like the things that you're consuming, the content you're consuming. Oh, where I was going with that is like there have been, I get recommended all the content that you lovely viewers watch, right? So it's like I get recommended all the relationship stuff, which I don't even watch, but I get recommended it because you watch it. And it's like some of the stuff is like for some reason, like I've been watching some of it, and it's like upsetting some of it, and it's like I don't want to watch it. But the reason I was talking about this is because it's like then I can go find the opposite, right? Where it's like people believe the complete opposite and their life kind of reflects that. So the reason I'm saying this is because of this card. And I would just be careful. Like if you are finding yourself being super negative about relationships, for example, but you want love. If you don't want love, fine. But if you want love, then I'd say you need to realize there's like another world that exists where people are super positive about it and have great relationships, right? It exists. I see it on YouTube. I've seen it. right? If you are super worried about anything else, like money, it's like, yeah, you could watch all this stuff about the recession and all this other stuff, but there's like another world. There are plenty of people doing videos about like what to do about it, things that you can improve it, and there are also people who are like doing great, that are in abundance, right? Go watch that stuff, is what I'm trying to say with this, this temperance energy. I feel like we need to be careful of just like the yo-yo energy right now, is what I call it. It's like everything, the news, it's like everything they say, it's like they throw us out. They basically, spike our emotions really, really high right now. And then we find out that things aren't really that bad, or there's like a solution to the problem, or, whatever the case may be. So I try to encourage people. It's like, yes, I understand that there are certain things, doesn't matter what side you're on, that's upsetting, that could be upsetting to you, certain things that are going on in the world, whatever, right? And again, I'm not taking sides here, but I would just be careful of that like yo-yo energy, where it's like, they spike your emotions and then they pull you right back, right? And that's basically how I see the energy in general. And I would be careful of this in your personal life as well. It's like, if you have a person like that, I would be careful of it, is what I would say. Next, you have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is about kind of the things that you believe in. You seem to be one of the signs that gets this the most. To me, it's kind of like tied to some of that Neptune and Pisces energy, where it's like a challenge to traditional beliefs. So some of you could be looking at things and just saying, why do I believe this? And pretty much that's it. I also feel that some of you could be dealing with a Taurus. Taurus is definitely popping into my head if you're looking for love. I feel like you get Taurus a lot. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's you. And finally, you have the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles says, do not call attention to your weaknesses. It actually looks like a pretty good reading. And it is interesting that pretty much everyone has had the Five of Pentacles during these bonus readings. But, Five of Pentacles, this guy right here, he has a bell around his neck, and he represents a leper. Back in the day, lepers had to wear bells around their necks. And it basically says, do not call attention to your weaknesses. It's like, if you have something that you feel like is holding you back, don't pay attention to it. There's I've been reading a lot of Neville Goddard lately, and he has a quote that I'm not going to remember because I'm trying to remember it, but he basically says, like, do not curse the things that are good in your life, right? It's like we all have certain good things in our life, but then we have things that we don't like about it, right? And what he means by that is, like, I'll just use YouTube as an example. Love doing YouTube, but sometimes I get mean comments. But really, like, the mean comments are like 0.0001% of the comments I get. And what he means by don't curse like good things in your life is that sometimes those things, back in the day especially, like that would take up a whole 2 days for me where I would just be thinking about it and complaining about it and everything like that. So that's what he means by like don't curse the good things in your life. And I kind of get that here. I would make sure you're talking positively about the things that are going well for you. I see this in relationships as well, where people will be in a positive relationship, but they'll be like, I can't believe she doesn't, pick up my socks, or I can't believe he doesn't cook me dinner, or whatever the complaint is. It's like, I feel like if you have a blessing in your life, that you should be looking at it as a blessing. And again, I'm not talking about, somebody always comes at me with some example where they're like, well, what if it's abusive or whatever? I'm like, okay, obviously, that's not what I'm talking about, right? Obviously, leave. Plain and simple. But if it's positive, it's a good thing, right? Then I'd be focusing on the good stuff and, try not to, yes, I mean, if you're living with anyone for any extended period of time, there are going to be things that annoy you about that person. But I would try to start looking at the positive in business, in work, in your health, and pretty much everything, right? And that's what I would do here. Next, you in your last row for the new moon in Virgo, you have this Yang energy card. Kind of reminds me of the Ace of Wands. And you have the bridge card. It says successfully overcoming a problem. Love it. Again, it's crazy to me that, I thought these were going to be a little bit more challenging than they are. But a lot of them have had cards like this about overcoming obstacles or overcoming issues. So I feel for a lot of you, you could be overcoming like some obstacles or issues in your life, or you could be forming solutions to problems that you've been dealing with. The Yang energy, again, Ace of Wands kind of energy, could be like following your inspiration with the Ace of Wands or the Yang energy, especially with the Sun here. I would say it's more about taking action. You have the Emperor in this row and the Sun and the Judgment card. Like that is like taking action times 10. That to me is like saying answer the door, answer the call. Something is knocking at your door, probably knocking knocking you right upside the head. Am I right, Leo? So, I would answer the call. I would, kind of wake up to whatever the universe is trying to wake you up to. We're going to figure it out. You have the Emperor, the Sun. And the Judgment card here, the Emperor, he's like ready to go. You know, he is ready to take action. Everything about him is about action. He has these rams on all four corners of his chair, and the rams kind of represent taking action. He also has his armor on under his cloak, so he's ready to go at a moment's notice, and that's what I feel like this is talking about. You also have the Sun, which is you coming up in a very strong position. I do feel, again, it's talking about making sure to have fun. You can see there's a child here. There's this wall here, and it kind of represents the wall that we all build up against our inner child. You know, some of us don't do things that we used to do when we were children. We don't have fun, or we think that we shouldn't have fun. And I feel like this is kind of encouraging you to enjoy life and make sure that you're doing things that you do enjoy doing a little bit more. And finally, you have the Judgment card. Again, I feel like something's knocking on your door here, like trying to get your attention, maybe literally, but I kind of feel this is more like an opportunity knocking, an opportunity to change. But really, I also feel it's an opportunity to kind of have this rebirth that we were talking about with that Phoenix card, which I feel like is the most important card here in this reading. You know, that Wishbone card too, it says a wish granted. It's like maybe you've been wishing to upgrade your business, or, you know, upgrade your relationship or improve it in some way. And again, I feel that this is kind of like saying, hey, there are a lot of opportunities for you to do that, like if you wake up to it. So that's what I'd be doing here. But Leo, we're not gonna clarify this whole thing. We're just gonna clarify through some of it, and we're going to see what's going on here. In the first row, I want to clarify that Seven of Swords. You have the Ten of Cups, fortune after difficulty, happiness. I'm pretty sure I said the Ten of Cups at the beginning of the reading as well. So, you know, the Ten of Cups, these people, you know, they still have to deal with all the problems and the issues of the world, but they're choosing to have a celebration. They are choosing what they focus on. They are focusing on this 10 cups. So, you know, in a lot of ways, I feel that this reading there's definitely like an overarching energy of focusing on happiness, joy, the things that bring those energies into your life. And that's what I'd be doing here. Amazing card for dating, by the way. Again, really good love reading, actually. Not many of these readings have really had a focus on love, but yours definitely, there's a lot of stuff about love if you want it coming up. And again, if you don't want love, take it how it resonates. This could be something that you do love, like a business, or something you put your heart and soul into, like a creative project or something else. I want to clarify, actually, weirdly enough, I want to clarify the Phoenix card and that Wishbone card, so we're going to do that. You have the Judgment card, what did I say at the end of the reading with the Judgment card? There you go. I mean, literally, don't need to repeat myself. So, you know, at the end of the reading, I was saying that those two are connected, and there you go. So I would answer the call to kind of revitalize something in your life. I want to clarify this Knight of Cups as well. You have the Three of Swords. Again, I was getting like a little bit of stinking thinking around relationships. So again, if you want love, I would, you know, try to think a little bit more positively about love so that you don't attract some bozo, right? I feel like as long as you're thinking positively about it, you're going to attract someone positive into your life. With the Star card, you have the High Priestess. I would definitely trust your intuition at this time. A lot of people have been getting these kind of like more mysterious cards. She represents a mystery, and really there is no good answer other than we just have to figure it out. So the Star card, remember I was saying I feel like you're feeling inspired to make some changes in probably, I keep getting business here for whatever reason. So if you have a business or career or a project you're working on, that's what I'm talking about. And I feel like you feel inspired to maybe do something new, and I would definitely do that. With the Hierophant, you have the Eight of Swords. Yeah, you know, again, I feel like, you know, there are some, I really don't know how to say what I want to say right now, Leo, without like offending a million people. So, you know, basically, I feel like there are just some beliefs that we believe that aren't true, and that could potentially be preventing us from finding success. So I would definitely do that with the Eight of Swords. Like if there's, you know, if there's some belief that you believe that you feel like is preventing you from having something that you want in your life, then I would be careful. You know, I would just look at the belief is what I'm trying to say here. It's funny. Someone left me a comment about, you know, I get a ton of Jesus comments every single day on my channel, right? I mostly just ignore them. But, you know, this person, she watches me, and, you know, she had a question about, she's like, my friend, she tells me that tarot is bad, and, you know, like all this other stuff, and, you know, should I be watching tarot? And I'm basically like, well, does your friend also follow all the other rules of the Bible? Like, you know, it's like in the Bible, there are many rules that I'm sure your friend doesn't follow, is what I'm getting at, especially regarding women, because she was a woman, right? Her friend. And I'm like, there are many rules that she probably does not follow, and I am not suggesting that she does either, by the way, because they're horrible rules against women in the Bible, of course, right? So it's like one of those things. It's like, does she follow those rules? No. So it's like, what she's telling you, it's like she doesn't even follow the thing that she believes in. And, it could be preventing her from finding success. It could be preventing her from finding other things in life by getting guidance, right, from tarot. So there you go. That's a loose example at best, but I'm just giving you an example here, Leo. With the Temperance card, you have the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords is like kind of the death of something here. And so, again, I feel like turning negatives into positives would be a good idea here with the Temperance card. In the last row with the Emperor, you have the Nine of Swords. I feel like everybody is afraid to take action right now. I mean, it's basically come up for everyone, and that's exactly what we need to do. Again, I feel like we're looking for like certain forms of comfort. I kind of also feel that people might be looking at opportunities that are presented to them or opportunities that are in front of them, and they're kind of like hoping that that it's safe. And I'm not saying it's not safe to take a risk right now, but really there is no, I just don't think we can have proof of safety. I don't think we can be 100%, nothing is like 100% risk-free right now, but we still are being asked to take action on like new opportunities, I personally believe, with this astrology that we're dealing with. And also, it's like, I don't want to say the universe is tricking us, but I feel like the universe is like really saying, like I've said to everybody else, like, where is your heart? And does your heart really belong to something? Meaning, like, you could have a hobby that you want to turn into a business. And maybe you're like, nobody cares about my, my button sewing business that I love. Nobody cares about that, but I don't know. I think the challenge from the universe is like, well, could you make people care about it? Because maybe it could turn into something much bigger than you could have ever imagined. We all have that opportunity right now, I believe, but it's going to take work. Again, I don't want to make it sound like easy. With the Judgment card, you have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, I feel like you're receiving communication, again, probably from your higher self or like your dreams, your daydreams, or messages that you're receiving. Again, everyone else has had something similar, but I love this reading for you, Leo. Good things coming in. So thank you for being here, Leo. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your Sun, Moon, and Rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your month.